the interior of the car. So I don't know how accurate this is to the era of these box cars, but I know all the box cars I've been in, they're either gray or white on the inside. So this is what I'm using. And just like the floor, I don't have my water cup, so I can't dilute this. Okay. Just like the floorboards, I'm gonna work from this post to this post. Now, this is something that could easily be sprayed. Just watch your overspray, take the door off maybe. So at first I just bring my strokes down. Now this will need 2 coats. If you get any on the door, don't worry about it because we want the door to be the same. I really wish I diluted this a little bit. And just in case, now one thing I didn't do last time, on the other car, was paint the full opening so you saw some of the original color coming through, which I did not care for. Okay, so the inside's painted. Now, as I was just saying, what I didn't do on the last car, I'll do that now. So I didn't paint the insides of the door opening. Well, I really messed that one up, but I can hide that later. We'll get the top as well. Now the inside is going to get 2 coats because, as you can see, it's a little streaky. But when I go back and do the second coat, I'm going to go horizontal because you're bringing forklifts or whatever equipment you're using to get things out of here. Things are hitting the walls. Walls are getting scraped, dinged up. Not many people, and even my original one, I'll show a picture of it. You can barely see the inside, but you know it's not, you can easily tell it's not black. So most of my paints I still use are, as you've seen from my other videos, are all Games Workshop paints because it's I know the system. I know there's a lot of technical paints that they have, and as I've said in the past, I've done tabletop gaming for almost equal to my time with model railroading. So it's what I know. So I'm using a word I'm not going to try to pronounce, earthshade. Now I do know that the two woods here are different, so it's gonna look a little different. But I want to test something on the other one as if I was treating it, and it's not going to work. It's going to try to treat it like a stain. Usually when I use this, it's not on wood. was always on plastic, something that was already painted. You want to make sure you shake this, because if you don't, at least when you do it on plastic, it has a gloss to it almost. All right, now I'm just trying stuff here, so bear with me. Now I'm switching over to the null oil. I do want to try that, like I said, with a stain. But the stains are all in my shop. I don't feel like heading to my shop to get them. I forgot to get it on the way home from work today. Yeah, that was a fun one today. So the train crews last night must have crossed hitch on one of our engines, because when the day crew, or one of the day crews showed up, first move they made, they separated their power, and the glad hand was messed up, so it didn't want to separate. We're switching over to a contrast of Apothecary White. This is gonna gray everything up a little bit. We'll see how this looks. So, got a call, hey, we got a broken air hose. Okay, so I jump in the truck, head out to the yard where they were, and they didn't do anything. They said they didn't do it. They just went to go make their cut before they started their shift. I don't know, I should never added the black. Black was a bad idea. Actually, it's not too bad now. Went to go made their cut, and the glad hands stayed together and ripped the threads off going into the angle cock. So that was a fun little fix at the end of the day. Packed up, ready to go home, thinking I was ready to go home, and get a phone call from the crew. Hey, we need a hand, something broke. Quick little test fit. Maybe I should come back and do another board or two off to the side, because you'll be able to see some of it from under the pallets. Okay, so definitely stay away from the black next time. So actually I gave it a shot with the gray, or the Apothecary White, for the pallets. So there we go. That one's very light. I'll do the first one I did. So it toned it down just enough. Still has that somewhat of a newer palette look to it, but takes off some of that shine. Well, we got the pallets with the paper in. Interior's painted, floor's in. The full interior of this car is now done. I'll call it there for this video. In the next video, we'll cover how I went about weathering it. So I'm going to quickly go over a couple things that I've learned from this one, from the first one. So around the door, I was not too happy with. One, I got some pretty good gaps here. Not that big of a deal. And then the door frame itself isn't the same as the interior. I got a much better gap now that I shifted all my boards to one side with my straight edge before going in and just laying them where they were. And then I got around my door painted the same as the interior of the car. Now this is going to be fixed once we do the outside weathering, and there's going to be some weathering done to the scrapes and rust and bare metal will be done around the door frame. My rolls of paper, nothing out of the ordinary, just perfectly clean rolled paper. I added a little bit of a fold and a fold on the other one, just to give it a little bit more detail compared to the other one. Now these aren't always going to be open, but there will be some times that I will be running these with the doors open.